The Warriors universe has always been a swirling storm of hope, heartbreak, and relentless pursuit. Remember the roar of "We Believe," the magic of a 73-9 regular season, the shattering Game 6 against the Cavs in 2016, and the triumphant 22-2 championship run tempered by sudden collapse. Now, amid that storied backdrop, a new tempest brews that could redefine the very essence of Dub Nation's destiny. Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with splash-era passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. Now let's dive deep into a rumor that's swirling hotter than a clay. Thompson catch and shoot. The whispers growing louder that Golden State might shape the entire NBA landscape by trading their current superstar, Jimmy Butler, to the loss. Angeles Lakers in a dizzying pursuit of a four-time NBA champion forward who just so happens to grace the purple and gold. Move that could catapult the Warriors from conference contenders to something transcendent. But at what cost? We all know the story of the Dubs clawing back into contention last season, with Butler's rugged leadership steering them past the Western Conference first round and into the semifinals, only to fall short against the playoff elite, reminding us all how crucial superstar chemistry and golden moments are under the Oracle and Chase Center lights. But Blue Man Hoops' Peter O'Keefe has dropped a bombshell that Dub Nation cannot ignore, suggesting that while adding Giannis Antetokounmpo might be the pipe dream that titillates the imagination, the salary cap realities and roster dynamics might make trading Butler, who's locked in a hefty, salary-matching contract, the most viable lever to pry open the gates for not just Giannis, but even more provocatively, LeBron James, the four-time MVP whose lore is etched deep into the NBA's DNA and whose name has haunted Warriors' playoff dreams and front office whispers for nearly 2 years now. Think about it. Jimmy Butler's $101 million contract is the perfect puzzle piece to match salary in a blockbuster trade for LeBron's massive $52.6 million cap hit, an unprecedented crossroads where the Warriors front office would have to weigh the agonies of losing a fierce two-way star whose intensity and clutch performances echo moments of past legends like Draymond Green's defensive tenacity and Clay's game-breaking shooting bursts against the intoxicating allure of adding a player still performing at an elite level despite his age. A 21-time All-Star whose February surge alongside a newly minted Luka Doncic made the Lakers nearly unstoppable with a 10-2 record in that span. James, at 6'9", put up staggering averages that month: 29.3 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 6.9 assists on 55.5%. Shooting reminding us of the raw dominance that once shattered the Warriors' championship dreams and reignited the brutal rivalry between Bay Area resilience and LA's flashy star power. But just imagine the seismic shockwaves coursing through the locker room as LeBron James, the veteran juggernaut, potentially joins forces with Steph Curry, whose own path from that unforgettable 2009 draft night to two-time MVP and three-time champion has been a saga of transformation and shared excellence alongside the likes of Klay Thompson, whose Klay Thompson gained 6 explosions echoing the Dubs' DNA, and the young core Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody poised to absorb wisdom and pressure with every play. The tactical chess match for Steve Kerr and his staff would escalate beyond tweaking rotations and pace, morphing into a grand experiment. How do you blend LeBron's post-up dominance and playmaking with Curry's shooting gravity and Draymond's defensive orchestration without fracturing the delicate familial ecosystem that sparked 4 titles and rebound quests from heartbreak's past? Yet here's the part no one saw coming. LeBron holds a no-trade clause, a rare power that could give Golden State leverage, albeit opening negotiations that would involve draft picks and young talent, shaking the front office strategy to its core, where salary cap gymnastics meet the raw nerve of championship aspirations and the unyielding expectations of a fan base who still bleeds blue and gold through every win and loss. Are the Warriors ready to dismantle a roster that's been carefully pieced together post-Kevin Durant era? A team whose identity has been forged on selfless ball movement and steely defense, just to usher in the twilight of LeBron's career. To chase an elusive fifth title? It's a question that strikes at the heart of Dub Nation's soul, where passion for past glories mingles with hungry ambition. A franchise that has tasted agony and ecstasy in near equal measure, now poised on the edge of a colossal gamble. But as whispers intensify that this offseason could mark the moment the Warriors decide to pivot now or never toward a bold new chapter, the air is thick with tension and possibility, rocking the foundations laid by the Splash Brothers. Dynasty, while stirring emotional fires that only this channel's fans know how to feel deep in their bones. Will LeBron's arrival light up Chase Center with memories of 73-9 brilliance rekindled? Or will it fracture a brotherhood built on trust, defense, and unshakable belief? As a lifelong Dub Nation believer, my pulse is racing just writing this. Is this the ignition point for our next title run, or the crack that splits our legacy? Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand. The heartbeat of the Chase Center just skipped. A seismic jolt rippling through Dub Nation that no one saw coming, but everyone's feeling deep in their bones right now. Because what we're staring down isn't just a roster shakeup. It's the potential tectonic shift threatening to rewrite the very future of the Golden State Warriors. If you're as locked in as I am for Warriors News Fan Report, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of the drama from the Bay to the Chase Center. Picking up from that last cliffhanger where whispers in the trade rumors echo louder than the roar of the crowd, the Warriors front office is reportedly in active talks that could redefine the makeup of this supercharged squad. And we have to ask, are we witnessing the seeds of a new blueprint for success, or sowing the chaos that might unravel the delicate chemistry Brody and the guys have painstakingly built? The ripple effects extend far beyond the hardwood. Think salary cap gymnastics that put Bob Myers' renowned wizardry to an electrifying test, twisting and turning like a wild roller coaster. This doesn't merely mean crunching numbers. It means reimagining who the key cogs in this machine will be, whose contracts will get the magic treatment, and whose futures might suddenly hang in limbo. And let's not forget the untold emotional toll inside the locker. Ruined those late-night huddles that made us believe in the power of brotherhood. Now bracing for fissures as fresh faces shuffle into the mix, perhaps stirring rivalry among veterans who once thrived in defined roles but are now forced to compete anew for minutes and leadership. Remember the emotional scars from the 73-9 season, how the crushing, almost mythic fall from the summit forged a narrative of redemption that Lawrence Frank's staff and Steve Kerr Stewart have carried forward with relentless grit. That heartbreak is far from a distant memory. It's a benchmark in Dub Nation lore, reminding us of the razor-thin line between triumph and disaster. And while Golden State's dazzling 2022 championship run felt like the perfect Phoenix moment, could this unsettled roster dance reignite those old fears of fragmentation? Or will it kindle a new spirit of adaptation like the We Believe eras? Unexpected magic, where the underdog attitude flamed a cultural identity as fierce as any dynasty. Coaching sagas are about to take center stage as Kerr recalibrates rotations with the surgical precision of a maestro, whether he leans into small ball trickery, pushes for more defensive versatility, or experiments with lineups that maximize the explosive talents of the rising draft class, while carefully preserving the sanctity of the Splash Brothers' legacy. And here's the twist no one saw coming. Sources close to the locker room hint at a subtle but brewing leadership struggle, with veterans like Draymond grappling to maintain their voice amid the rising calls for a new guard possibly unleashing tensions that might either forge unbreakable bonds or crystallize deadly divisions. Off the court, the front office's chess game intensifies as draft picks and future assets are floated on the trade market table, with rival teams circling like sharks sensing vulnerability in what was once perceived as a fortress Will Golden. State double down on youth with a hope for long-term upside, or swing for immediate impact to seize What might be the last window of a potential dynasty window before Father Time and contract caps close in? And what of the fan base, that beating heart of the franchise, whose collective hope and fear oscillate wildly between anticipation of glory and dread of downfall? Is this the turning point that will crown the next chapter in Warriors history, or the first crack in a dynasty's foundation, much like the post-Duran era upheavals of yesteryear that tore through locker rooms and the narrative alike? Could this be the moment when the script flips, where tactical innovations on both ends of the floor, whether Kerr's trademark ball movement or defensive, switching schemes are rolled out with fresh faces bringing fresh energy, or will old tensions and untapped potential linger as ghost demons, haunting attempts at cohesion? As the swirling vortex of trade chips, rookie arcs, and veteran intuition collide, the questions multiply, doubling down on the very essence of what it means to be Warriors: resilience, adaptation, and relentless pursuit of the championship. But the clock is ticking, and the off-season shadows grow longer with every passing rumor and quote. And as we stand on the edge of whatever comes next for Dub Nation, I can't shake the question: are we witnessing the ignition of our next dynasty push, or the fracture that sends it all crashing down? Sound off in the comments, Dub Nation Isle. Be right there in the thick of it with you, riding every high and every heartbreak, right here on Warriors News Fan Report. Honestly, I feel the weight of this moment like a double-edged sword. The Warriors' legacy hangs in the balance, and while the potential for greatness is dazzlingly real, so is the possibility of fracture. This feels like the kind of turning point where heroes are made or legends fade, and as a fan, I wouldn't trade this roller coaster for anything in the world. Because let me tell you straight, as someone who's lived every second of this ride, from the barren years where Oracle still thundered despite the losses, to the champagne-soaked highs of parades down Market Street, I feel this rumor differently. It isn't just about Kuminga or cap sheets or trade chatter. It's about the soul of Dub Nation standing at another crossroads. I think back to 2016, the gut punch of watching a 73-9 masterpiece collapse, and I remember how it felt like the end, only for it to be the spark that brought Durant, banners, and a cemented dynasty. And now, staring into the unknown again, I can't help but wonder, are we about to watch history repeat with another gamble, another reinvention, another chance to turn heartbreak into glory? And on a personal note, if I'm being raw with you, Dub Nation, I'd rather feel this uncertainty than drift into irrelevance. I'd rather risk the sting of failure than sit safe and stagnant. Because being a Warriors fan has always meant riding that razor edge between ecstasy and agony, knowing that the very thing that can break us is also the thing that can crown us. This is why I'm here, why we're all here, to live through every rumor, every shakeup, every high-wire act that keeps our hearts pounding. So whatever happens next, whether it's Kuminga staying, leaving, or transforming into the star we prayed for, I'll be standing, jersey on, voice gone, ready to believe again. That's Dub Nation. That's us.